So just quickly, it's Cerberus. I was right the first time, but I keep doubting myself. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description box below. But if you go to my my community page and my Instagram also with this video, you'll meet Trixie. She's all to do with the Soul Collector, who is the daughter of Hades and Persephone, and she's a historical grief investigator for the Ministry of Souls. And sometimes when she goes on assignment, her father Hades insists that she takes Trixie with her. You'll see it all in the thing. It's quite funny because obviously I like to use humour in that to teach children, especially these things, so that they don't get scared, or if people, so people don't get scared. I like to add a bit of humour. So this is what I'm going to show you is from my Art of Creation. Sorry. Oh, yeah, the Art of Creation Foundation Instagram. That is a diary entry from Ruby Corazon, Detective Ruby Corazon, Detective Ruby Hart. And she's writing about a situation where she's hunting a serial killer, because obviously in a lot of the stuff that I'm going to write for my stories with the Soul Collector for the radio and eventually movies and that, I use a lot of real life cases in that. So in this diary entry, she's talking about hunting down a serial killer, and her father insisting that she take Trixie with her to Hades is concerned about his reputation and how people are scared of him for the wrong reasons. You can read it all. But when I do my radio show, I've just written over the last year a big story where she meets someone called Theo Lazarus, who is also an underworld detective. He's a private eye, and he's gone back to the 1930s to investigate human trafficking, stolen children, possibly connected to the Chicago gangs, like Al Capone and Bugsy Malone and all of that, and it's all connected to the Black Dahlia murders. For my connecting the dots, I did an investigation into the Black Dahlia murders, and it's all connected. Jack the Ripper and the Torso murders and the Epstein, and it's all connected. If you listen to my Black Dahlia investigation, you'll understand what I mean. But she just got called to the Ministry of Souls, and was told she needed to go and talk to this private investigator, Theo Lazarus, which is funny because Lazarus has come up twice now in the last week, which means resurrection from the dead. A Lazarus moment means like a resurrection from the dead. So his name's Theo Lazarus, and so she goes to him, and they do this investigation together. It's a whole thing. So we're going to do turn it into radio shows until I've got all the investment and funding and locations and that put into place. But in the meantime, I'll start with my radio shows and podcasts and YouTube channel. So I'll be able to, once I find a brave spontaneous adventurer who can drive, who can take me around the UK to let me investigate and come up with ideas for my storylines, and that we can record our little stories for my internet radio, for my radio station, and then when I've got the money and location and stuff in place to set up my production company and the foundation, the Art of Creation Foundation, then we can start turning them into like movies and TV series and comic books, and because the Soul Collector and the Quantum Menace are marked for comic books and video games, but the Soul Collector can also be used as be turned into radio sagas, as can the Quantum Menace sagas. So it's like a whole thing. So I'm going to need voice actors and people that know how to like do editing and sound, and obviously Van to Black and all of that I want to perform as well. I was just talking about that in regards to the pyramids in Giza on my Instagram and that. So yeah, so the Cerberus, you meet Trixie, and then yes, I'm trying to teach people how to learn about the supernatural and folklore and mythology and that, so that they're not afraid, because it's not anything to be afraid of. This is my world, and it's a world that nobody else lives in. I live in it all by myself. I'm literally the only person that lives in this world because nobody else understands it correctly. But if you open your mind and embrace what it is I'm teaching, the world I live in is way cooler than the world everybody else lives in. The truth of what the supernatural is way cooler than the mythology of it and the misunderstanding of it and the misrepresentation of it. So anyway, meet Trixie, my girl Trixie, and Hades' wee pup, my dad Hades, or Ruby's Hades. I'm messing up my words because I'm aware of the fact that I'm getting a delivery at the door, and until everything is sorted out with my neighbour, I don't like leaving my front door, because of the fact that she's a very volatile, confrontational person, and I wouldn't put it past her to come at me with something in her hand at this point, because she knows she's in trouble with the police. So, and I know I've got to answer the door to my delivery person. I'm not scared. I just don't want any trouble, because I'm literally almost on my way out the door, and I just don't want any trouble. And she's someone who brings a lot of trouble to your door. So I just don't want any trouble. I'm not afraid of her. I'll defend myself if I have to. I just don't want to have to. That's all. Because I'm a lover, not a fighter. So anyway, description box below. Meet Trixie. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.